Welcome to the T-Pac Arcade. Today's game is Rescue Terra 1 for the Atari 2600. In this 1982 shoot-'em-up from Venture Vision, your mission is to fly the F-117 Star Warrior to Terra 1, whose Zenbar crystals, which we apparently use as a power supply on Earth, are threatened by space pirates and robots. Although, if Earthlings are just taking stuff from Terra 1, I'm pretty sure that makes us space pirates too. Anyway, this is a 4-part mission. First is a vertical scrolling section where you blast waves of asteroids in your pirate ship. Spaceship. The next segment introduces rockets and UFOs to the mix. They both shoot back at you, but the UFOs are a lot more formidable, because they zigzag across the screen. Once these vertical portions are cleared, we encounter a brand new, never-before-seen orientation. Horizontal. Ooh. Here, you take out more waves of enemy craft, which approach from the right in 2 lanes, but undulate up and down so they're more difficult to hit. Plus, a mothership occasionally glides across the top of the screen where you can't get to it, dropping bombs and generally just being a nuisance. The final section of the mission puts your ship in the same horizontal configuration, but introduces hazards vertically, like some kind of diabolical hybrid of our 2 standard orientations. How can my 2-dimensional brain be expected to process this foreign scenario? But I digress. Here, checkered laser bars descend from the heavens to bonk you on the head, so you have to destroy the fish things on either end of them to keep that from happening. The distance meter at the bottom of the screen counts down your approach to Terra 1, but it's not really accurate. Progress is actually tracked by clearing enemy waves. Each section presents a batch of enemies which loop until you destroy them all. Then another batch approaches with more enemies, and the process repeats. After clearing the largest batch, the cycle repeats several more times, except everything gets faster and faster. This is where the difficulty really comes in. You start with 5 lives, or shields, and only gain more at 10,000 point intervals. And even though the F-117 Star Warrior has rapid fire, it can only allow for 2 laser blasts on screen at any given time, which means you can't rely on a constant offensive stream to protect you when space pirates and robots start coming in at a million miles an hour. The last wave of rockets moves so fast that they actually outpace their own laser blasts, which is wild. I never made it past that section playing legit, but at least I met my personal goal of populating every digit on the scoreboard with 100,000 points. Even still, I wanted to see what it would take to get all the way to the end of the game, so I put save state bookmarks after every wave to give myself unlimited attempts. By the end, I came to the conclusion that even though I proved beating this game is technically possible, I'm doubtful that it's practically possible without cheating. Mainly because of the final few waves of laser bars. They fall so fast that you basically need frame-perfect timing to blast them all. And the trickiest part is, even though they're moving so quick, they're still just barely slow enough that rapidly moving the joystick side to side will outpace them and cause you to misfire. I only finished this section once, and from pure luck, but was happily greeted by a flashing victory border around the dark abyss of space, inviting me to reflect on the masochism of this game and the questionable ethics of my own mission as maybe possibly a dirty Earthling space pirate. But at least I can watch the pretty strobing colors. Speaking of which, I have mixed feelings about the visuals of this game, and for a super dumb reason. See, maybe my copy of the game is just glitchy, but sometimes it boots up with a yellow-brown border, a blue ship, and more colorful enemies, and other times it boots up with a gray border, a pink ship, and more muted enemies. The colorful version feels gaudy and messy, but the more monochrome version feels sophisticated. I'm a minimalist though, so maybe it's just a me problem. Plus, the sprite designs themselves are great either way, especially the fish laser bar things. Those are super unique. And the sound design is excellent, at least to my minimalist standards. I love the low hum of your engine, the drone of incoming laser bars that change pitch as you move up and down, and the crunchy, bass-heavy detonating booms that get my vote for best explosion sound effects on the Atari. The most novel aspect of Rescue Terra 1 is the gameplay modes. The default mode is the full mission to Terra 1, while the following 4 allow you to practice each section of the game individually. But the real quirky bit is the 2-player modes, which are the same, except player 1 controls the ship's horizontal movement, while player 2 controls the vertical movement. What an absolutely awful idea. And I mean that in the most endearing way possible. Granted, I'm a guy who spends his weekends playing 80s video games and doodling spaceships, so naturally, I don't have any friends to actually test out 2-player mode, but I imagine it's the pinnacle of whimsical frustration. My favorite part of this game is the asteroid section, because it's just my kind of simplistic, brainless space shooting action. And the laser bar section, because it's got a unique sort of auto-scroller feel to it. Until it gets super fast. Then the fun dies. Speaking of which, if I could change one thing here, I'd reduce the number of enemy waves overall. It takes too long to really get going in any given section, so that high score chasing, just one more round feeling usually gets replaced with dread at the idea of slogging all the way through the ramp up again. Overall, Rescue Terra 1 is among the most ambitious space shooters I've played on the 2600, and even though its pace and challenge could be more balanced, the fun factor here is incentive enough to cast off your ethics and put on your pirate cap all the way to Terra 1.